Hi, everybody. DJ Yoakley with you here yet again for YSU Coach's Corner with Danny Bertolini, head coach of the Guins. And, Coach, obviously not the road trip you wanted, the business trip you were looking for, but some takeaways from that last trip down south. Let's talk about, firstly, it was a tight game, tightly contested game in game one. You guys were right there at the epitome of it and just weren't able to pull it away. It was a bad day for a walk in South Carolina. Talk about that and how walks affect you.
Well, yeah, I thought we played a really, pretty good game on Friday. We made I think we made 2 errors uncharacteristically. One of them came back to hurt us a little bit, but just some weird stuff that happened too. Just a couple bounces that didn't go our way. But yeah, we had an opportunity. We got a base hit with the bases loaded. I was really proud of our group. We lost the lead. We came back. We took the lead. We lost the lead. We came back and tied the game. My bases loaded, single to left. Weird play where the third baseman kind of dove and kind of got in our runner's way coming to third. No obstruction or anything, but just kind of weird, and slowed our guy down coming around third. We weren't able to score him, and then weren't able to capitalize. And then Joel goes out and gets the first 2 outs of the inning, and kind of tweaked the hamstring a little bit. Felt like he was pretty good. Ended up walking 2 guys uncharacteristically, and then we went to Bryce and just 2-3-2 counts, and you end up walking the winning run. And so I thought overall in the weekend, especially in game 3, our guys did a nice job of really competing in the zone and throwing strikes. But sometimes that's baseball. Sometimes we've played in some really tight games. You're going to lose some, you're going to win some. So hopefully we just win more than we lose in those close ones.
And what people might not know completely about the College of Charleston is that's a pretty daggone good ball team that you played down in South Carolina, even though they don't get a whole lot of recognition for being, Houston or Florida State. That's still a really good ball team that you held your ground with.
Yeah, I think they're, 6-1 or something like that. They're traditionally a 35-40 win program. They do a tremendous job of just, competing in the zone. They do everything you want in a team. They're offensively, they're super aggressive. The fastball, they don't strike out a lot. They put the ball in play and put pressure on you. And their pitchers get on the bump and they throw strikes. So, they're a really good team. Coach Holbrook does a great job with those guys. He's one of the better college baseball coaches in the country. Had a lot of success at South Carolina, and has got those guys moving in the right direction. So, yeah, they're a good team, and but we're ready to move on and attack this next week.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about your bullpen. One of the strengths of this team, kind of the opposite side. The bullpen after game 1 really were able to hold it down a little bit. Obviously, game 2 didn't shake out the way you wanted to. But all in all, you guys like Gary Clift and Chad Coles, who we'll talk about a little bit later, they've really stepped up and put things on lockdown. I think after there was only like 1 hit over the course of 4 innings in one of those games from the bullpen. So, talk about your relievers and what they mean to this team.
Yeah, they've done a great job. I really think that our pitching staff has done a really nice job. On Saturday, we were in a tight game. It was, I think we brought it back to 8-4. I think at one point we were down 4. We can't throw, we can't really get, Gary, and as much as I want to throw those guys every day, they can't throw every day. So right. We relied on some other guys, and some guys got their first opportunities. Nate Ball got his first shot out there. Zach Minnie got his first opportunity of the weekend. So, they're guys that we're going to rely on later in the season. Casey Marshowitz, I thought, did a really nice job, came in late in that game. But it was super important on Sunday. I thought John gave us a good start. Bryce came in and did okay. And then, we kind of moved on from there, went to Gary and Dalton and Chad, and they threw really well. They kept us in the ball game, kept it to a 4-run lead, and gave us a chance to win a game, late. And that's really what you're asking for those guys to do. Chad threw 2 outstanding appearances this weekend. So, at the end of the day, sometimes your starting pitching, for whatever reason, doesn't. We didn't pitch quite as well as we'd like, but they were able to keep us in the game. And And that's really what you want. You want to have an opportunity to win a game, and we had guys on base in the last inning, and we just weren't able to come through.
And speaking of your starting pitchers, one of the guys who we're going to talk about seemingly a lot this year, Colin Floyd, making history, joined the 200 K club with his 201st strikeout. Currently ranked 7th in YSU history. I mean, talk about this young man. I feel like we're going to be having this conversation seemingly every week with what he brings to the table.
Yeah, he's, we've talked in the past. I mean, he's a workhorse. He's going to, I really believe, knock on wood, all things stay healthy. He'll be the all-time strikeout leader for our program. He probably didn't have his best stuff, and we didn't help him. We weren't able to, we made a couple mistakes, and it led to like a 35-pitch inning, which isn't really what you're looking for. But he's outstanding. He competes. He works. He's a leader. I'm happy for him, and there's a lot more work out there for him. So we're going to need another good start out of him this week.
So congratulations to Colin Floyd, one of only 8 pitchers in the YSU program history to reach the 200 strikeout mark. So happy for him, and we're looking to talk about him a lot more in the coming weeks. One of the things that people don't talk about a whole lot, especially with the age of turf, is you guys were able to get back on dirt for the first time this year. I mean, is there a difference between playing on the turf and playing on a dirt surface?
Oh, 100%. Especially depending on the surface too. The dirt surface, College of Charleston has a beautiful facility, but a little bit choppy at times, and we definitely struggled a tad to kind of make that transition from practicing in the Watts and being outside our first weekends on turf. So definitely was an adjustment period. I think. I don't necessarily know it led to some of our play, but I don't know if it helped. But we'll be back on turf this week. I think Abilene went through the same thing last weekend. They're a turf team. They went on dirt, struggled a little bit to field the baseball, and so it definitely does make a difference.
So let's talk about some of the shining stars. Nick Caruso, Chad Coles racking up recognition for the second straight week. YSU is represented in the Horizon League. You name it, of the week. The batter of the week is Nick Caruso. The pitcher of the week, Chad Coles. Talk about the weekend that these young men have.
I'm really happy for Nick. He went through a lot last year, having to sit out and having mono and trying to fight back and get back. And I'm just happy that he's still battling some illness right now. Our whole team's pretty much been going through, it's going around, flu-like symptoms, some sickness, really kind of hit us hard last weekend. But I was really happy for him. Had a great week offensively. I mean, he does a phenomenal job behind the plate. He calls a great game, blocks, throws guys out. I think he threw a guy out from his knees, so I was happy to see he got some offensive recognition because he's worked really hard and done a nice job for us. And like I talked about Chad earlier, that's the guy that we expected at the beginning of the season for us. In the fall, we really saw like that jump from a year ago to now. He's very reliable. He's thrown tons of strikes. He competes at a high level. He's probably our hardest thrower on our team. So, we're gonna really rely on him down the stretch. It was good to see him go multiple innings. He went 2 innings on Sunday, and that was like really the first time that we've kind of asked him to do 2 full innings. So it was good to see him kind of get out there and get stretched out a little bit and throw up some zeros. I don't think anyone got a hit off him. Struck a bunch of guys out. So. He's got some great stuff, and hopefully we'll have another solid weekend for us.
For those who don't know you, you're a glass half full guy 100% of the time. Let's talk about the silver lining that you saw in Charleston as we head towards Abilene.
Well, I mean, we don't. There's no excuses. Why we didn't play up to par. But I think I thought I saw some fight. I saw our guys. We were down. After losing a tight game on Friday night, we came back and struggled a little bit, on Saturday, but we were able to kind of keep a game pretty close on Sunday. And Sunday's really about, the will to win. And Travis was out. He was throwing up. He was sick on Saturday, so he wasn't able to help us on Sunday. And John Snyder stepped up, and I thought he pitched well. Some guys, so offensively, individually, I thought we had some spurts. I mean, we had 9 hits on Sunday. The difference was we just didn't get those clutch hits like we did against Houston. We were able to get some hits with runners in scoring position where against Charleston, on Friday and Sunday. We just weren't able to kind of get those big hits when we needed to. So that's baseball. That's kind of how things go. I was happy to see some of our guys continue to roll. I thought Andre Good had a good weekend. Put some good swings on it. Braden O'Shaughnessy had a nice weekend again. Coming off their week last week. So it was good to see those two guys get going and continue to stay hot. I thought Blaze swung the bat well. So there's definitely some upswing. I'm excited to see kind of maybe where we're going to be at this week compared to last week. It's a lot of travel, some late nights getting back. This is going to be a short week coming up, playing on Thursday this week. So there's a lot of adversity hitting us, and we just got to find out. We're really going to find out what kind of team we have and kind of the toughness that this team has here in the next couple of days.
I love it. And I think the thing that I love about it the most is when you guys travel, you travel in style. So no more South Carolina stuff. You throw those cowboy boots back on, you get your 10-gallon hat
up. Oh, yeah. They're
And
shining up their boots, ready to go.
Yeah, we are. And that's the funnest part. When these guys travel, it is, guess whose boots these are when we were able to travel with you to Houston. Yeah. Looking forward to another game of that maybe here this afternoon. Back in the Lonestar State, throwing, we're 2-1 in that state. So let's see what we can do here against Abilene. What are you expecting the series to look like from your perspective?
Well, they're going to provide a really tough challenge. They have some great arms. They're going to challenge us. Offensively, they're a team that's gonna slug the baseball. They hit a lot of doubles so far. They've played a tough schedule. I think they're in one of the polls. They're top 50 RPI. So, very. Maybe the name recognition isn't there, but this is a really solid program, top to bottom. And just like the first 2 weekends, that we still don't know a ton about some of these guys. They have really overhauled their roster, tons of junior college players. Mm-hmm. So, for them, their first couple of weeks was kind of getting a feel for what D1 baseball is really all about. And, we'll have to see. We're going to have to grind out some at bats. We're going to have to play great defense. I mean, we're going to do the things that made us really good opening weekend is, pitch and play good defense and some timely hitting and 2-strike hitting. And there's no real secret to the game. So they're gonna put some pressure on us. They're going to provide a good challenge. And I'm excied to see kind of, where we're at.
We're excited to see it. Obviously, you guys are playing in a minor league ballpark similar to what you have back home at Eastwood. So you should be comfortable with that in that setting. But I think you said it's on turf, so it'll be a little bit different from that perspective. I mean, are the guys excited to get back down there to kind of hit the road again? Because it can be – I mean, people don't realize when you start traveling, it can take a toll on not only your body, your sleep, everything that comes along with it. It's a domino effect.
Yeah, and fighting some sickness and illness. I bet half our rosters had some sort of flu-like symptoms at one point or another in the last week or two. You just got to be real smart with practice. We had a real light practice yesterday. We were able to get some good work accomplished, but just more individual stuff. Just being smart with hydrating and staying with it. I mean, we're always excited to be able to travel. It's a privilege for us to be able to fly and play some of and get to play in some of the great places that we've been able to play in the last few years. This one's no different. Beautiful facility. It's got an awesome field and great grandstand. So we're excited. The atmosphere should be pretty solid. There should be a good crowd there. I'll tell you what, I am so impressed with our parents. Our parents have traveled so well this year. I know this week's probably going to be the toughest one for them to travel to, but the first 2 weekends they've really showed up and supported us, and can't thank them enough. So, but we're looking forward to getting back down to Texas. The weather should be pretty nice, 60s and 70s, so we'll take that any day of the week.
Love seeing that the Penguins traveling together. That's the biggest thing. Let's go back a little bit in your history. I know you've played baseball for a long, long time. Is there a favorite baseball memory that you had from your youth that you want to kind of talk about? And especially, I know a lot of the younger generation watches you and watches these gentlemen who you coach with just an absolute strength of the eye. Is there a moment or two that you want to share that you kind of encapsulate and bring up from time and again?
Boy, there's so many good memories. It's hard to really narrow it down to just one. One of my favorite baseball memories was probably 2000. Boy, I don't know what year that was. Probably 2000, maybe roughly. I don't know. We were 14. I was playing Pony League and Danny Young was on our team. We were facing Canfield in a big game for us. The winner would win the regular season Pony League championship, and then get to have the Tri-T All-Star team. So, and I remember our Danny Young hit a grand slam to really seal the game for us, and just watching him run around the bases, a smile on his face, like our team was so excited for him. He had struggled a little bit and was facing a really good pitcher and was able to go opposite field for a home run, and it was probably, we won the championship. It was a really cool moment. So, but there's been a lot of them, from Pee Wee to Little League to the summer baseball, high school. I mean, there's been a lot of great moments. I think my own personal best moment was probably hitting a home run in a professional baseball game. That's probably something I will never forget. So one of the local umpires from the area was actually doing home plate. Chuck Adja, he was the home plate umpire, and he just was shaking his head when I came around and scored on that home run. So that was a pretty cool moment.
Now, were you trotting around the base pass, or were you running full blast?
No, heck no. I had a line drive. I thought there was no shot that thing was getting up over the fence. So it just happened to be a short porch to the left. I hit a line drive, and it was a Kalamazoo in Kalamazoo, Michigan, the Kalamazoo Kings, I think it was. I got pretty lucky that day.
Well, let's talk about one last thing. There's a constant debate, seemingly, about one sport or many as kids, boys, girls, you name it, are moving up the ranks. You're a player of so many different sports. I mean, you were the pride of Poland. You still are, but you kind of, really got your baseball, I guess, pushed it towards baseball towards the end of your career. And into college, obviously. Are you a guy that is an advocate for one sport, or do you think that kids should play as many as they can growing up?
I would 100% say I would push to play multiple sports.
Yeah.
I think specialization at a young age is really tough. One, there's a high probability that you're going to get burned out. The other thing is the multiple sports teach multiple functions of the body and multiple, athleticism in all different sports, whether it's hand-eye coordination with soccer or basketball or toughness with football, all the other sports, really hockey, anything that you can do to use other parts of your body other than your arm, I think is beneficial. Teach you how to be a teammate, how to be a good teammate, how to, any kind of those team sports are really good for development at a young age and developing those skills that are going to be needed as you get through to high school. So, I mean, once you get to maybe being a junior or senior, if that's something that you want to do, specialize and you see your path is in one direction. But, I knew I wasn't going to play college basketball. I wasn't, probably had about a 20-inch vertical, so I wasn't going anywhere. But I really enjoyed to compete and play the game and be with my teammates. And, we had a lot of success, and that was, I thought, taught me a lot of life lessons too. So, even though I knew I was playing baseball in college, I still played basketball all the way through, and I'm happy I did that because it definitely was a great experience.
Skipper, thanks for the time. Good luck in the Lonestar State. We will be all eyes on social media this weekend, and make sure you fly the Y, if you will, a couple of times down there.
I love it. We'll get that Y flying hopefully this weekend.
All right, buddy. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, buddy.